Trailer Trash Talk Tuesday. Exterior. Camera moves in on a trailer. We see the interior of the trailer and see Bertha stirring a stew over a stove. Welcome to another Trailer Trash Talk Tuesday with your host, Bertha Booty.
It's pronounced bootay.
Vern enters, pats her butt.
What's for supper? Smells good.
Making a stew with a raccoon you ran over last night.
Vern tastes it with a spoon.
Needs a little something.
Goes to pour some of his beer in, but the can is empty. Goes to look in the fridge. Almost empty.
Where's the beer?
Out in the van.
Which van?
The rusty one.
Which rusty one?
The one with only 3 tires. Vern, would you please put on a clean shirt?
Vern exits.
We use our vans for storage, for beer, extra food, like what we kill on our road trips. By the way, a little hint, you can get a whole week's worth of meals by going through Cut and Shoot on the 115 at 11 p.m. Isn't that right, Vern?
Looks around.
Vern, get that cute little butt of yours in here. You can get a van at a reasonable price. We got ours real cheap. Bought it at the auto junkyard.
Vern enters wearing an old shirt. Bertha sees this and looks frustrated.
What? This is my new shirt. I got it last week at the 89-cent store. That's where 99-cent stores send their rejects. Yep, I figure it's good for a couple of years. Then I'll sell it at a yard sale to some schmuck for $1.
Like that rusty old can opener you sold at the last yard sale for $5.
Yeah, I told him it was a relic from World War II.
I was telling our audience about how we use the vans for storage.
You can always use vans as a guest room too for those unwanted, unexpected visitors, relatives. You can't trust her cousins with all our valuables.
Cut to a shot of junk inside a van.
You hush now, Vern Boutte. He's always joking. He's so funny. That's why I married him. He's my 23rd husband.
Yeah, 23rd time's a charm. She's my 21st wife and quite a girl. She can do anything, even anything. She even made me this pair of socks.
He takes off old shoes to show old socks.
Out of our old sofa cover.
Show old sofa cover missing a section.
Yeah, and our name is Booty.
Well, thanks, sweet cheeks.
Grabs his cheeks on his face and pushes him aside, and he leaves.
Now let's see how our raccoon stew is doing.
Tastes it, adds some of her beer, and tastes it again.
Just right.
Holding up her can.
And don't just recycle or throw away your empty beer cans. Save them. There are a lot of things you can do with them. In fact, next week, I'll show you what you can do and what you can make with them. We would like to thank today's sponsor.
Grabs a jar.
Butt Gunk.
Vern enters with 2 cans of beer.
And if you want a great price on Butt Gunk, come see us. We have a shitload of it.
Oh, Vern, please. We're on TV.
It's okay. It's only YouTube. And anyways, we have it by the gallon, so we can sell it real cheap.
The important thing is that it's great for your bottom. Keeps your butt smooth as a baby's bottom.
She's right about that.
Pats her butt.
Please.
He gives her a beer.
Oh,
There you go.
thank you, Sugar Lips. Till next week, bon appetit.
They toast, drink some beer, and he burps.
Ah, the good life.
They kiss and he exits. As the credits roll,
Don't want to give you the idea that we drink beer all the time.
But
Off
most of
camera.
the time,
Well, yes, but on special occasions, we like to bring out a box of our favorite red wine.
Picks up a box
Re-
of wine.
Red Ripple, which is on sale now at your local liquor barn.
is Fred making wine in his barn again?
No, silly, the store.
Frustrated, she pours herself a cup from the box. Join us again next week for another exciting, entertaining, and educational Trailer Trash Talk Tuesday with Bertha Booty.
It's Butte.
Fade out. Scene 2, 2 hours later. Exterior. Vern sitting on an old wooden bench looking at an old Playboy magazine. Panning over, we see a 5-foot-high wooden fence, and then we see Fred sitting in a nice folding lawn chair reading a book.
Damn it.
What is it, my little dumpling?
Bertha looks through the window.
I wanted to surprise you with a raccoon pie for dessert. But I don't have any sugar.
That's okay. I'll see if I can borrow a cup from Fred.
Fred, hearing this, ducks into his trailer, and then we see Vern peeking over the fence. He doesn't see Fred, so he goes and knocks on his door. No response, so he bangs a little harder, and then Fred answers the door.
Hey, Fred. Sorry to bother you. Just wanted to know if you could spare a cup of sugar.
Okay. Where's your cup?
Vern realizes
Can we
he
borrow a
doesn't have
cup
one.
too?
Okay. Just a minute.
Goes and gets a cup of sugar and hands it to Vern. Vern takes the cup.
Thank you. Bertha needs it to make a raccoon pie for dessert tonight.
You been back out driving the nights again, huh?
Yep, had a good night last night. Got 2 raccoons. Would you like a slice?
No, thanks. I'm a vegetarian.
I never knew that.
Well, I just started today.
Oh, okay. You're a loss. Thanks for the sugar and the cup.
I would like to get my cup back, please. And also the plate I loaned you last month.
Sure thing, neighbor.
He exits, and Fred, looking doubtful, closes his door. The interior of Bertha and Vern's kitchen trailer. Vern gives her the sugar, and Bertha empties sugar into a pan and looks at the cup.
Oh, what a lovely cup.
She goes to put it in the cupboard, but turns around with a lovely plate in her hand.
And it goes so nicely with this plate we got last month.
She puts them back in the cupboard.
Can't wait to taste that raccoon pie.
Fade out. The end.
Interior bar afternoon. Seamus, 40s, overconfident, pseudo-intellectual but charming extrovert, sporting the artistic professor look, glasses, cap, slightly overweight, and Brian, 40s, more introverted, deliberate, and put together. Professional looking but casual, are sitting in a corner of an empty bar. Seamus lifts up a whiskey glass to Brian.
To art, the lie that enables us to realize the truth.
Brian raises his glass to meet Seamus.
Funny. I thought it was the other way around.
How so?
It's easier to tell the truth in art than in life.
Exactly. I think that's what my man Picasso was saying.
Well, either way, I'm not sure Pablo and I would get along.
Yeah, I don't see that too much. Too much Mediterranean passion between the two of you for one room.
Or planet. I guess you don't see that side of me too much. I definitely tried to control it, but every man has his breaking point.
Right on. About that, listen, I know things sort of went south. That's why I'm glad we're doing this. No writing or producing, just hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah. After I got your email, I was like, man, we just need to get back to two friends grabbing a couple of drinks. I really think we just need one of those binge nights where we polish off a couple of bottles of Jameson and get weird. This is long overdue.
Those were pretty fun, but
But what?
well, we weren't collaborating on anything back then, other than getting wasted. So let's just say ignorance was bliss.
Sort of harsh, dude. For who? You or me?
Probably both.
Listen, man, things got wacky, but we wrote one hell of a screenplay and got some decent feedback at the festival.
Yeah, look, I owe you. I was in a creative funk, and when you reached out, it forced me to do something, start writing again. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, man. We need to finish that script. I think we need to write some scenes to get those characters solid. Get into Joe's backstory more. See Ada really struggle, you know?
Yeah, about that. I don't think that's a great idea, to be honest.
All right, okay. Lots going on. I get it. Too bad, though. It's a story for our times.
Seamus motions to bartender to bring over 2 more drinks.
I probably should get going. Heading north to visit my dad.
Man, you just got here. I just ordered another round.
Shay, you fucked with me. You know that, right?
Bartender delivers 2 more Jamesons.
Dude, we were producing a play in record time during a pandemic. That's how things work. I've been doing this for over 20 years now. That's the biz.
The biz is to play chess with real people as pawns and say whatever it takes to get them to do whatever you want them to and figure it out as you go?
Yeah, sort of is. Look, I got all the big Jews in New York interested in this play. Harvey Lowenstern loves me. He's always asking me to do his fundraisers. He liked the play. Needs to replace you, a couple of people with real actors, no offense. But he knows all the big Jews in New York.
Dude, stop saying that with the Jews, okay? You talk like a character in an Altman flick. People don't talk like that anymore.
What's up with you, man?
Nothing. It's like you don't deviate from your character. Just be you, dude. Don't try to be Alan Alda, a Woody Allen film. And by the way, I met Harvey. Nice guy, but he's not going to give you a red cent. He likes hanging out with you. That's it.
Oh, really? He's connected. They're just waiting for a sizzle reel and a pitch. You bring the professional cred and I bring the creativity. I know what I'm talking about. I live and breathe these people, but we've got to do it quick. Pandemic will be over before you know it.
What's the pandemic have to do with anything?
It makes our play relevant. 4 dudes coming back together from college after 20 years to figure out life after they've all been thrown into the abyss.
I don't think we need to be forced into some rush because of the pandemic. The story still holds.
Man, I'm telling you, every Playhouse actor has a COVID script waiting for Netflix. We gotta move. You bring your marketing skills and I'll get the meetings.
I'm not some suit with the right vocabulary and resume, Shay. First of all, no one knows me. Secondly, I actually am the creative guy too. I got good feedback on my acting.
Dude, I had Seth from MTV and a well-known playwright from NYU, and they don't mince words.
Oh, Seth from the Dick Files on MTV. I definitely want to make sure I take his feedback seriously. You know, I've been around too. and maybe not around Midtown, but I've been around people a lot, and I know talk is cheap.
You're angry. You want a contract to finish the script? We'll get a contract, dude.
I don't want a contract, Shay. Well, not anymore. I just want to be done.
Well, that contract you sent me to look at says otherwise. I showed it to my lawyers, and they were like, what? An extension clause for merch? I told them you probably just had a few of your old Hebrew school buddies frame it out for you.
Dude, I guarantee you, you grew up with more Jews than I did, and you really need to stop with that shit. I wrote that contract myself when I was considering turning this into a full length with you, but I changed my mind.
Man, okay, man. Look, let's just hang. Forget about the script thing, okay? You're one of my best friends.
Oh man, I hope that's not true. I didn't hear from you for 3 years. We were comedy buddies, drinking buddies once in a while, but Shay, come on.
Dude, look, I'm sorry things got so out of control with the play. I'm the visionary guy. I suck at details. That's why we work so well together.
You locked me out of key decisions. I ended up finding hotel rooms for the cast, making them dinner, paying for a van, dealing with Sophie, who you brought on to direct when you cast her aside because Pete was having a freaking tantrum with her. All people you pulled together. Then you lost it on the cast when you heard a noise during rehearsal, during your monologue, which, by the way, no one ever knew when you were in a scene or not because you improvised the whole time.
That's acting. You know all that comes at the price of being a really good actor, which I am. You're lucky you got to work with me. You're lucky I did improvise. That gave you the freedom to play off of me, work at your craft.
Or you could have kept to the script, which we all agreed we would do, so we wouldn't have to keep bobbing and weaving when you mixed the parts of the script or forgot lines.
Are you kidding me? Those actors had nothing going on until this came along. They got mad exposure. You got exposure.
They got 34 YouTube hits. This play was never about us writing or them acting. It was always about you making some sort of ill-conceived comeback to New York during a pandemic. Some narrative you're building.
Willie, Bri, I made you all look good.
Really? You took the rehearsal and posted it as the final festival submission because your buddy couldn't wake up for the final performance. All of this unbeknownst to us, and then you flip out when anybody questions you.
I'm the fucking producer.
We're the fucking producers, eh? And if it's not about you, why were you the only one that was mic'd?
What are you talking about?
The wireless mic under your shirt and hooked to the back of your jeans. We're not blind, Shay.
I know you're upset, but I have been doing this way longer than you. If you can't deal with the waves, you shouldn't be swimming in the ocean.
I gotta give you that. I wish I had an ounce of the confidence that you do.
Because I'm good. Why do you think I get so much tail, dude? I mean, all right, you're the one in decent shape, but I do well. Better than you. I do really well.
What are we doing here?
Brian downs the rest of his drink.
Look, so things got a bit out of control. It's the bipolar, man. Those lines from my character in the play, they were real. They're me, dude. It's the yin and the yang. It's my brilliance. It comes with a price.
That's not bipolar. Man, I'm tired of hearing about the bipolar. Bipolar is not the issue. I know other people with bipolar disease. That has nothing to do with it, Shay. It's the narcissism and the pathological lying and the alcohol. But it's not the bipolar.
You're a therapist now. Here's the deal, Bri. Yes, I'm confident. I don't have regrets and I don't look back. That doesn't make me a narcissist. That makes me a player in an industry where middle-aged white dudes are as wanted as an STD. and I'm willing to bring you along. But if you bring your suburban angst and self-righteousness with you, you can forget it.
Bring me along. Now that's funny. Where? Where are we going, Shay? Please enlighten me.
I got management, an agency, all the big industry dudes looking at me saying, "Man, Seamus McMahon is back." I was the breakout. I had NYU, commercials, and a size 30 waist, and blew it on lithium, coke, and a bad temper. But I'm here 20 years later, and they see it, dude. And they can see you too.
This sounds a lot like the Loman Theater thing. Remember that?
What's the big deal with the Loman?
Remember? Me pitching in money because we were going to do this amazing stand-up special, and your big buddy Patrick has the red camera, and you know a producer from MTV over at Hulu, but now, and we go there and no one but your family shows up. That's it. And the video quality is crap. And bam, done. Nothing.
Man, you can't put that on me, okay? Drew and his kid, what was that guy's name? Rick or Rich, whatever. They were supposed to pitch in. They supposedly had connections.
Whatever, man. I can't do this. You know all these people. You don't need me anyway.
You're right. I just thought we were friends, man. And damn good writing partners.
That we were. Your friends? Like, you realize you never asked me anything about me. Ever. Questions about me, my kids, nada.
Dude, I always say what a great dad you are.
Followed by the thing you need from me. And dude, you talk shit about people in the cast to me as if they're your little projects, and you pick them up at a telethon and then suck their dicks in front of everyone to make them feel good. So what do you think I'm thinking when you're so complimentary of me and in public, but you're talking about me with someone privately?
Don't flatter yourself so much, man. I'm not talking about you.
Shay, this isn't on you only. I willingly allowed myself to get in your insane. You're insanely bright and talented and charming, but it's not good energy for me. I can't trust you.
I'm not sure I'm the only one with a mental issue here.
Maybe not. I'm not perfect, but I'm not paranoid. I know what you say about me. You have this perception that I'm this OCD, beat up little Jew who is really smart, but naive about the industry. I just work really hard at not showing my cards, being patient, having some faith, but I'm not as innocent as you think.
Right. I knew you called shit like it is, okay? But this whole don't fuck with me side, maybe deal with your shit for a change.
I am. That's why I'm telling you that I can't work with anyone that I can't trust. You're not reliable, Seamus. You use people, and for the record, you're an alcoholic.
No. I'm not. You know nothing about alcoholism. I can handle alcohol. I lived with fucking alcoholics, so don't even try to pretend you know what you're talking about.
Okay. But for the record, giving up beer and only drinking vodka when your girlfriend isn't around doesn't make you sober.
Man, it's not about the play at all, is it? All this time I thought we had a decent friendship. Shame too, because not a lot of dudes who can think and write like us. You're just judging me the whole time.
Don't think of it as judging.
Oh yeah? Then what is it?
Think of it as acting, like really good method acting.
Right.
I guess I'm not as bad as an actor after all.
You were right. You should probably go.
Yeah. But I was wrong about that Picasso quote. Art is the lie that enables us to uncover the truth.
Brian gets up and leaves. The end.
Exterior bus stop day. Herbert Cowrie, male 35, casually dressed in somber colors, sits alone on a bench waiting for a bus. Suddenly, Della Magi, female 24, in colorful attire, wearing bells on her wrist, pops up from behind the bench. She is carrying several Christmas-wrapped packages.
Penny for your thoughts.
What?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Why would you even do that?
Della quickly moves around to the front of the bench and places her packages on the bench.
I'm so sorry, really, I am. Are you okay?
Herbert places his hand on his head, then checks his wrist.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Why did you do that?
Della hops up and sits on the arm of the bench.
I'm sorry. I saw you sitting over there all depressed, and I thought you could use a good laugh.
Herbert cautiously walks back to the bench and slowly sits down on the opposite end.
It wasn't funny.
Oh no, believe me, it was funny. You should have seen your face.
Well, I'm glad you got a good laugh out of it.
Me too. Thank you.
Oh, sure. But I'm not depressed.
It's written all over you. You're practically dressed in it.
I am dressed normal.
Then you must normally be depressed.
What about you? I mean, what's with that outfit and the bells?
I'm dressed for the season. I'm wearing the spirit of Christmas.
Well, then so am I.
You're kidding.
Della leans over and touches the collar of his shirt.
This must be Christmas past.
Della springs up from the bench, dances around to the back of the bench, and drapes her arms around Herbert.
These are not even near the spirit of Christmas. These are the colors of a funeral.
Close enough.
How can this be? Can't you smell it? Can't you see it? It's all around you. Life is lit by the glow of sparkling lights and shimmering tinsel.
And memories.
Yes, memories. Glorious, wonderful memories of joy and laughter.
Well, not mine.
Della moves slowly around to the front of the bench as she speaks.
Not yours. Why not?
Because this time of year is depressing for me. You were right. I'm depressed.
I felt that. I'm sorry to hear it, but I did feel it. Why?
I'd rather not get into it. You're just a stranger.
Well then, don't think of me as a stranger. Della Magi is my name. Pleased to meet you, Herbert.
Well, nice to meet you, Della. Wait. How do you know my name?
Didn't you introduce yourself?
No, I did not.
Now, that is interesting. I guess you look like a Herbert.
How does anyone look like a Herbert?
Anyone named Herbert would look like a Herbert.
What does that mean? How can anyone
You
look...
are Herbert, aren't you?
Yes, but...
Well, there you go. Stop changing the subject.
What is the subject?
Why, you, of course. And how can anyone find anything to be depressed about at such a time of wonder?
Because that's just it. It's not a time of wonder, or joy, or laughter. It's just the ending of another year of misery to be followed by a new year of new misery piled on the old.
I cannot believe that anyone would be so weighted down in so much misery that they could not be lifted up from those chains at this time of year. What is it that carries so much weight?
Your Christmas is not my Christmas. Mine is just memories I wish I could forget.
That cannot be. You must be exaggerating.
You do not know my Christmases. I remember most was when I was 7.
I knew it! When you were 7, you remember a good Christmas.
Hardly when I was 7 on Christmas Eve, decided to make snow cream.
Oh, I love snow cream, and your father must have loved it also, and he wanted to share it with you.
Yes, he did. However, when he decided to make it, he discovered we did not have vanilla.
Oh, that is too bad. You can't make snow cream without vanilla. That was most unfortunate, but hardly a tragedy, hardly a reason to be depressed on Christmas.
Well, you might have been right, but my father was a determined man, and when he got a thought in his head, he would not give it up.
Sounds like a fine man, a man of spirit, a man who could embrace the season.
Yes, so much so, he decided to go to the store, buy some vanilla, but it snowed very heavily that day. Our car was snowed in. He couldn't get the car out of the driveway.
Oh, how sad. So no vanilla, no snow cream.
Remember, my dad was very determined, very full of the season and the desire to share his childhood memories with his own children. So determined that he decided to walk to the store to get the vanilla.
Oh, bravo, bravo. I like this father of yours.
Yes, but on his way back from the store with the vanilla in his hand, he apparently had an urgent need to relieve himself. I mean, we're not quite sure if it was an urgency or just wanted to see his name frozen in a snowdrift, but in his own pee. Unfortunately, while leaving his signature, an oncoming snowplow did not see him and buried him in the same snowdrift where he was leaving is John Hancock.
Della's jaw drops open. She turns her head away to conceal the laugh building up inside of her.
I'm sorry, but the image, it's tragic, just tragic. He didn't.
There was another heavy snow that night. It covered all evidence of his whereabouts, and they didn't find him for 2 weeks. And that was after the snow melted. With his hanging, well, he was exposed.
That
Della-
is very sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
After my father died, my mother had trouble meeting our expenses. We lost our house. We moved around a lot. We were never anywhere long enough to settle in. Never enough time or money for a Christmas tree or presents. And depression became our traveling companion.
Losing your father must have been very hard for you at such an early age. But you had your mother. There must have been some moments of happiness.
She tried, but it was hard for her also. But I do remember.
What? You remember what?
Oh, I don't know. It's something I had forgotten till just now. Something from a long time ago.
What? What was it?
Well, there was one Christmas. We just finished moving again. I was 11. We were in a new place, and for me, a new school. I didn't know anybody. I was very alone and was not expecting that Christmas to be any different than any other year. But that year, funny that I'd forgotten it all, and now I remember it like it was yesterday.
Sometimes we bury the good moments under the misery we cover ourselves in. What do you remember? What did you get that year?
It was kind of silly. Wait. How did you know it was about something I got?
It was Christmas, wasn't it? What else would a child remember about Christmas?
I suppose. It just seems strange that you
Please, just get back to the story.
Well, there was no tree again. I didn't expect one, but there was one gift this time, a small box wrapped in a crayon-colored paper bag and tied with a lone tattered shoestring and doubled up as a bow.
It sounds lovely.
It really didn't matter. I tore it to pieces to get inside the box, and in the box was a small hand puppet in the shape of a dog.
How sweet.
More than sweet, it was special. I know most boys my age then would not have appreciated a gift like that. It wasn't a bike, G.I. Joe, a BB gun, but it was more for me. It was like a pet, a friend, I knew it was more than I ever wanted. The second I slipped it on my hand, I could feel it.
Feel what?
Happiness. It had been such a long time, I had almost forgotten what happiness was, but there it was on my hand. It warmed my whole body. I took it with me everywhere. I even took it to school, but I never showed it to anyone.
Why is that?
I was afraid the other kids would make fun of me, or someone might take it from me. I only put it on my hand when I was home and alone. But except at home, when it was on my hand, I was never alone. I even talked to it.
Did it have a name?
As a matter of fact, it did. Pennyworth.
Pennyworth?
Yes. I knew my mother could not have afforded very much, but even a penny is worth something, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Our conversations became more. And I thought if I could get one or two more puppets, I could create a show, you know? I thought maybe I could go visit other kids in the hospital to cheer them up.
That would be wonderful. I knew there was joy in your life. Did you do it?
No, there was never, ever any money for more puppets. Imagine somebody like me, right? Thinking I could cheer anybody up. It was just a child's dream.
Well, you're never too old to dream like a child. Well, at least you had Pennyworth.
Yes, however short-lived.
Why is that?
The new year brought another year that we had to move. We packed up everything we could, and when we arrived at the new place, I could not find Pennyworth. I begged my mother to go back to the old place, but she said we owed that landlord money and we couldn't go back. Not for my silly toy.
But you didn't hate her for that, did you?
No. I mean, I was sad. I knew she couldn't do anything about it. And after all, she was doing everything she could to take care of us. But I did cry that night.
That is sad. But can't you see, even with the tragedies of loss, you still had your moments and you still had your mother who loved you deeply. Your life is not just a tragic one. You have love and warmth.
Had love. It's all gone now. Today is a year of my mother's death.
On Christmas Eve?
Yeah. So forgive me if I do not find the joy you find in this time of year. Sometimes I wonder.
Wonder what?
Nothing.
I understand it now. I do. This time of year carries a lot of sadness for you. I get it. But you forget those precious moments of love and happiness. When you choose to block those out, you have nothing else. You have to hold on to them, and you have to hold on to them with more effort than all the other memories because they're worth more. And they are worth more because they are rare, like gold and diamonds in a world filled with dirt and sand.
I know you're right. And I will probably pull out of this funk eventually. I usually do, but now that I am completely alone, it will take longer.
The world is filled with people you have not met. Maybe you need to get out there and shake hands, smile a little, sing jingle bells. Here, take this.
Della slips one band of bells off her wrist and onto his.
Thank you.
There it is. Buried in beneath those frowns. What a wonderful smile. The world needs to see that.
I will try. Maybe we could go to a cafe for a bite to eat.
Della quickly sits up from the bench, picks up her packages, and moves toward the back while talking.
I would love that, but I must get back to work.
Work? It's Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve is my busiest time of the year. I am glad we had the chance to talk. I am glad you discovered those hidden memories. Don't let them get away from you again, and remember, you can still dream as a child.
Della continues walking away.
I won't forget. And thank you. Thank you for helping me to find them.
Herbert turns, watching Della walk away. As he turns back, he sees a small package on the bench. He grabs it and turns back in Della's direction, but she is gone.
Della, Della, you forgot something.
He looks down at the box.
Herbert, why does it have my name?
He lifts the top off the box and stares inside. He lifts the contents out and drops the box on the ground.
No way.
He holds up a dog-shaped puppet and slips it on his hand. He holds it up, staring at it.
Pennyworth.
Holding the puppet on his hand, he flexes his middle fingers, bowing the head of the puppet up and down. Then brings the arms of the puppet together as the little hands clap together. Herbert slowly sits back down on the bench, holding out the puppet in front of his face.
Merry Christmas, Pennyworth. Merry Christmas.
The puppet claps its hands together.
Hello? Paying customer here. I can't come any closer. Allergies.
I understand.
Keep back. Are those flowers?
Leaves.
Pollen free?
Have a sniff.
I'll take your word for it.
Relax. Lots of people suffer from hay fever. I can whip a mask on faster than you can sneeze.
I don't spray saliva. My reaction starts with a tingling scalp, then one ear turns red, then the other, then my heart starts pounding.
Let's avoid that. You needn't touch the bouquet. I'll deliver it to your home. To your loved one.
Loved one? Oh, that makes an assumption.
A reasonable one, surely.
Well, Julian and I just started dating.
You're after a Valentine's Day gift, aren't you?
Only because it's expected.
I hope your note will be a bit more romantic.
Oh, don't tell me I have to write something too.
Well, anonymity's an option.
No way. Since I'm going to all this trouble, I deserve the credit.
So you'll be wanting to spend up big. Which blooms take your fancy?
None. I find the custom barbaric. Dismembering plants and embalming the amputated reproductive organs in water till they wither and die.
Try orchids in a pot. They last for ages.
In prolonged captivity.
Man, you really hate flowers.
They have their place in the wild where they can live free.
Away from your nostrils.
Houseplants should be banned on grounds of brutality.
Don't blame them for your medical condition.
What? No. They don't torture me. We torture them, making them root-bound.
Orchids enjoy being snug. They respond to tight potting with the spectacular display.
A botanical scream for help.
Cool it, dude. You'll scare off my clientele.
Sorry, I'm passionate about protecting nature.
I hope you're not on a mission to shut down my business.
Oh, of course not.
Please don't report me to the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Plants.
Look, what's your name?
Briar.
Hi, I'm Luke. I'll be very grateful if you'll sell me some flowers.
Certainly, sir. What sort does Jillian prefer?
Oh, don't ask me. I hardly know her.
Shall I choose?
Is there an added charge for service?
It's included in the price. Speaking of which, what's your upper limit?
Oh, I'm not falling for that. As a woman, not a florist, what's the minimum standard of gift you'd consider satisfactory?
Well, I'm happy without any.
Seriously?
I handle flowers all day. I love my job, but when I get home, I appreciate a clean break.
So, at your place?
I don't own a single vase.
I hope your partner knows how lucky they are.
My ex-boyfriend and I broke up last week.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It was for the best. I'm cool with it.
I was thinking of the poor guy. From now on, he'll suffer from Valentine's Day pressure.
We're still good mates, like always. That was the trouble. There was no tension, no spark.
Your personal deal breaker.
Isn't it yours too?
Oh, I don't go in for sentimental nonsense.
Would you like me to write the note for your bouquet?
Don't bother. I've already gone off the whole Valentine ritual.
What will Jillian say?
I couldn't care less. I've gone off her too.
Oh dear, I've lost a sale.
Oh, sorry for wasting your time, Briar.
You didn't. It was nice to meet you, Luke.
Wipe your hand first in case of pollen.
Living dangerously.
Anaphylactic reaction is no joke.
Your head isn't tingling, is it?
No, but this is weird. My ears aren't burning either. Something's wrong. My symptoms are out of order. The heart pounding usually comes later.
Let me bring up my pages again. So we did
The
Chuck
person
first.
who wrote the play about the bipolar narcissist, sorry, I was a bit judgmental of that play. It was good. To the playwright who wrote about the bipolar narcissist who insisted he wasn't an alcoholic, but he clearly, yeah, I liked that one. Can I use the term suburban angst in one of my plays, or like, if not, no harm, no foul? I just thought
Yeah, I
that
don't
was
care.
clever.
Yeah, go for it.
That's awesome. Can I
Yeah.
tell you what I'm planning to do?
Sure.
I just don't want it to seem to, oh, Zev is stealing. I recognize that. No. I'm writing a play about a young woman who, her mom was a director of plays of a theater agency, and so she grew up hating theater because it was always a place, grab something to do. We're going to be there for several hours. Of course, she hated it. She's a kid. And she's going to make fun of herself and use the term suburban angst.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So that was the play Seamus by Mark Kay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
And a shout out to both Tajman and Daniel for stepping in at the absolute 11th
No
hour.
problem.
Who nailed it.
Pleasure. No
Yeah,
problem.
really did. Thank you both.
Were you
It
comfortable
didn't seem
with
like
that,
last
Dan?
hour at all. Really good acting. I enjoyed it.
Thanks.
So Daniel, was that comfortable for you stepping in, doing a cold read?
Oh, totally. I mean, what a great challenge, and it's a great play. So, plus to get to banter and argue with somebody on a Sunday afternoon, better.
So Mark, why were those two people? Why did they ever think they were friends?
Well, I don't think Yeah, I mean, it's actually part of a larger, but I think it's getting to it, which is because they have a different definition of what friendship is, as we learned kind of toward the end, and also, this is just the human condition where two people can be in the same room, witness the same thing, and have two totally different interpretations of the experience, the human condition. And so, I think this is what happens when something. There's a backstory behind a I was explaining this earlier. There's a backstory to get to this scene of what happened when they came together and they wrote this play for a fringe festival and everything, and something blew up. But they just, sometimes it's like I call it Facebook prophecy. It's like you're so cool, like, oh, you could get off and be like, Mark seems like a cool guy, and I could be a total asshole, right? Because you're only seeing me in spurts, and then when things get real, which is why we have 50% divorce, right? It's like you're like, oh wait, I understand now. It's the human condition. People think what they want,
So how long is the whole play? Is it a feature?
No, I don't. This is all I have right now. I wrote it. I've been told to write the whole thing because people would be interested, but I'm not really. That's why I've read it at a couple places. So that's all I have is this right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have the blow up piece in your mind.
Yeah, it's based on it happened to me. I'm actually the character that Daniel played. I'm Brian, even though I know I played a good asshole Seamus, but I'm more Brian in this situation. Not that I don't have Seamus in me also, but and so this is just to say there's a whole history that goes back probably 4 years. So it is in my head because it actually happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's clear to you then.
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to develop it more?
Yeah, I probably will now. I just finished another a feature. I finished a book, so I just got a couple things going on. But yes, I think probably I will. I'd like one of these things to turn into something eventually. So I'm always torn between always writing and trying to do all the stuff that none of us want to do about networking and marketing and all that good stuff.
How do you feel about this group being? Do you think it's a helpful tool for you as a writer?
Yeah, this was. I mean, hearing it is always helpful. I will say this play was read, and with no. I don't want to throw any shade on it, but I was invited to a writing group closer to where I live. I live in Philadelphia, and I belong to a couple. And it was a writing group, most of them of which were in a 55 and older community, which there's nothing wrong with that. But the reading can make such a big difference, right? And if it's not being read with the intention of the character, it can shadow what the potential of a piece is, or also show what's wrong with it, which is the whole point, right? I also want to know what sucks about it. So this is very, very helpful. I honestly, I really am grateful to be part of this.
Was it helpful for you to be the actor, or would you have preferred someone else being the actor?
I probably would have preferred somebody else to be the actor, and so I could direct it, and because I have a vision. Although what I was telling Daniel, what happened this time was I played the role that I was not comfortable with. I also like to act, so it forced me to act in a way that I probably wouldn't have had otherwise. And also Daniel's interpretation of my character was not Marquet. He was not Marquet. I probably would have played it more like myself, and he played it differently, but got the point across, and that was wonderful. That was great.
Was there anything from his performance that made you want to alter anything in the script?
Not alter the script, but alter the character, the way that I think about the character Brian, which is that he has this very likable approach to it. This very, he does, even when he gets mad, he does it with this smile on his face a little bit, and almost like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm mad right now, but this is ridiculous that we're even having, and that is not how I would have, that is not who I am. When I'm mad, it. I wish I was more like that, but I like how he played it. Okay. So I definitely am thinking of changing the approach of that character, a little bit more. So he's always the kind of he's like the whatever those things are at the gas stations that float around. Like they could flop around, but they're not going to really lose their ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. I'm glad to hear that the group, is providing that for you as a writer.
Yeah. So thank you. Yep.
I just wanted to say thank you, although some of them aren't here, to Elizabeth and Mary, who really brought the characters to life. Zev, that was unbelievable. I thought I had to give her all these notes, and she just came in, narrated it, hit all the right spots. She was like, "Okay, sorry, no notes for you." And,
for what it's worth, your directions were incredibly clear as a director, so that's awesome. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. I had all my questions, and you answered them all in one go.
No, she picked them up, and the two characters were great. It seemed like it made it a little bit funnier than I thought it was.
Yeah, that happens for me too. Sometimes when I'm writing, I really don't think of it as being comedy, and then I hear it performed, and I'm hearing people in the audience laughing, and I'm going, wait a minute.
Right. As a writer, I'm writing the lines are funny, but the little things they do as the characters, Mary and Elizabeth made it great, and then Daniel coming in the last second, picking that guy up, that idea.
Yeah.
It was. I wish we had just a little bit more time in the rehearsal. I could have a bit more time, but it was great. Like you said, Mark, it was best. I liked standing back and seeing them bring the characters to life.
So did Daniel play the character as you conceived him?
Almost. Honestly, I conceived him even just a little bit stuffier.
Oh, okay.
As far as, where's the cup? And only one line, Daniel, was the one line I would have changed a bit, was on, when you said, have you been out driving again tonight? Had you been in rehearsal? I could have told you then, but it was fine. The joke being, this guy goes out and gets roadkill. So I guess you were driving last night, huh?
Yeah.
But I mean, he picked it up, gave a character to it for the few lines. And again,
I think it was obvious that he was talking about him driving and deliberately mowing down animals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got it too. I got it. I thought Daniel did a great job. I got that.
Now, Daniel, I have to ask you, did you think of the character as being effeminate? It seemed like in his tone, he was effeminate.
Well, I'm from Texas, so I know that guy, first of all.
Okay.
I think most pompous people in Texas sound a little feminine sometimes, so we kind of throw that in there. But not necessarily. I just thought he was kind of a dick, so I just give him that look. I wish I had talked to Chuck more beforehand, but
it was fine. My basic idea for him was a retired school teacher who, not so much a snob, but he's above these people.
Yeah, I definitely came in thinking I was better than everybody. All I'm hearing from Mark is that I'm awesome, so that really helped from the beginning. So thank you for letting me play with you guys.
Thank you. It was great.
And he has to be incredibly pompous to have that type of attitude and be living in a trailer park.
Oh my God, yeah.
But I thought that was great, Daniel, to see you in both pieces, because it was like two completely different characters, and you're doing it pretty much cold reading.
Back to back.
Well, this is the first time here. First of all, thank you. I never said anything in the beginning, but thank you for letting me join you all today. And
sure.
So coming in to see, like, well, let me see what they're doing, because it's a couple of lines. I'm like, I'll be at the end. I'm like, that's cool. But to have the experience, I mean, you never know what the universe has in store for you. But to have the experience, the opportunity to play two different characters in one day and kind of have different feelings, that's pretty cool. Great work, everybody. I just want to throw that out there. Great work. All of this, I was just enthralled in the story. So kudos to all you. Good vibes going your way. And good jobs.
Definitely.
And now is the time when you have to say which one you liked best, though, Daniel. That's the indoctrination. No pressure.
Okay,
no pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. But my birthday is December 26th. So the
Aw.
Christmas Story was really calling
That's,
because
that's fair.
a lot of times people forgot my birthday because
You're
of Christmas.
anti-Semitic. No, we get it. You don't like Jews. That's fine.
Oh,
Let
great
everybody
job
know.
in
We
that,
got it.
Zev.
This is still recording. I just want to get it on the record.
But who's casting me in something? That's my favorite one. So
Yes. No, great job in that, Zev, too. You and Paul. That was that was great. That was touching. That was good.
I
So
have
what-
to say two things. I noticed the anti-Semitism in the play. I didn't want to say anything because I was very oversensitive. Anyway, I can laugh. I can deal with it later. And me being Della, that's interesting. I looked at the play for 2 seconds before going in cold, and story time. I never thought I would be able to play a Pollyanna character. What an opportunity.
You did a very
So,
good job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is me
yeah.
saying thank you to you guys, letting me play somebody bright and cheery, and
And
And,
Paul
like,
had,
how sad. He said it was such a miserable day for him because his dad died, and I was supposed to laugh. Like, one of my cousins died around Christmas too, so like everyone's like, "Oh, it's Christmas, blah blah blah. You must be happy." And please don't ever, just don't, because I'll start crying and it gets awkward. Anyway, so I tapped into that and still to be cheery. It was an interesting acting exercise, but having him die after peeing in the snow, like, that's awful. Who says that? Like, how would you describe that to people? I would just say
Right.
it was a car accident because I'd be so embarrassed.
right. I didn't want it to be this tragic moment. I wanted it to still, have kind of some humor to it. So that's
Yeah.
Oh, it did. And I think Paul helped pull it off by being so dramatic with the comedy.
yeah. And,
Making-
and
Yeah,
Paul,
that was good.
Paul had challenged me to have him in A Piece of Mind. So when I was thinking of this, because I've heard Paul perform, and I knew he could get into the emotion of that character. So
I have
then-
another question.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for
Delia,
letting me
Della's
do it.
clearly psychic, but is she an elf?
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, I at first I was like, okay, she's psychic, cool, some kind of angel, but no, later on it became evident that she was an elf, and I'm glad I went in cold because I would have made a big deal about my ears not being pointed.
well, I conceived her as having like a Santa cap on, and then the bells. On
Oh,
the
yeah, I
wrist.
don't have one of those, but yeah, that would have, it could be staged, it could be really interesting.
Yeah. So, Paul, you had something?
Yeah, I was going to throw something out to Mark Cave. It was good work, enjoyable characters. They were interesting characters to watch. The one thing that you might want to take a look at, I wrote it down when I heard it. You mentioned that these two guys wrote very well together, and that their film did very well at a festival early on.
Yeah.
But then almost like within a couple of minutes after that, you mentioned that we should finish that script and flesh out the characters.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure about it doing very well at a festival, and then, but it wasn't really a finished script.
No, that's a really good point, because it was the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and it could be no more than a half an hour, so it wasn't the full. But I didn't make that clear. So yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, but they were fun characters to watch. Your character in particular, the bipolar alcoholic narcissist, was always got to be an interesting character to watch. And I thought you wrote him pretty well there. So I
Tasmanian
enjoyed it.
Devil. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, I have to head out, but thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it, and thank you, Daniel and Tasman especially.
No problem.
Take
Pleasure.
care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Me as well, Stephen. I'm going to run as well.
Okay, we're going to jump into Rex McGregor's piece.
Oh, Rex. Oh, well, first off, let me, before I run, let me always bow the head to Mr. Rex McGregor, because he always writes very, very real and poetic, real but poetic kind of characters that kind of stay with you. And I really enjoyed both the performances. Paul Euler, you did a great job with that, and of course Gibretti, wonderful as well, lovely work.
Yeah.
But Rex, another great script. Very short, to the point, and it was just a sweet pairing of the two. So very nice job.
Yeah.
I'm going to say thank you for letting me play with you guys. I need to go too. Tasman, thank you for staying up late with us.
No problem. Lovely to meet you.
Sunday. I hope to see y'all again.
Well, Daniel, it's always the fourth Sunday, so will you be back next month?
If you let me play with you, of course I will.
Sure. We just look for the writers to make the post, and if you want to grab a script, go ahead and volunteer.
Awesome. I will do that. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
You too. Bye. 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 Bye.
Yes, Rex. Great characters again. Just
And Goretti, that smile at the end was perfect.
Thank you.
It was like you were transferring that feeling to Paul without having to say anything, but you knew where that reaction was going. So it was great.
Thanks.
Yeah, I love the awkwardness between them.
Yeah.
That
Like
works
real life,
well.
isn't it?
Yeah, the awkwardness, and you work through the awkwardness. Yeah, so yeah, and it has that comedic value at the end of it. So yeah, that was great. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
How'd you feel about it, Rex?
Oh, that was great. We did a lot of work on in the rehearsal room on the last part of the play, and I think it really came together. So I'm really, really pleased with the way that came out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because this was one of those plays that had a quite time frame. It had a 5-page limit. It was written for a particular competition, and I'm used to writing 10-minute plays, and I often have to squeeze things in to get to 10 minutes, but 5 minutes was quite a challenge. So
Good squeezing, Rex.
Absolutely.
Good squeezing.
So
I really connected with that character because I, all through high school, actually from the time I was 14, I worked in flower shops because my mom was a florist.
Nice.
And that's how I felt at the end of the day. Get these flowers away from me. Like, my fingers were raw. It was, everybody assumes you love them, but no, out. Glad to say I've changed now. Anybody want to send me flowers? I'm all in now that I don't work in the industry.
Good to know.
It was well written. I totally bought her.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
So Tasman and Carol, will you be submitting anything next month?
Oh, I hope so, because I was a little bit slow, and I think over the holiday period I was just having too much fun, and now I need to do some work. So yes, I will be, and I do hope I get some interest, and it would be lovely. Yeah, lovely to join you. I really enjoyed this group, and it's a different experience, I must say, but it's good. It's all good fun, and there's so much talent in the room.
Yes.
That's the thing, and it's a lovely gathering. So yes, sorry, that was a very long-winded answer. Yes, yes, I will be submitting something.
Well, be sure and post what you need. And
when should I do it?
You can do it tonight if you want to, but I'm imagining it's kind of late there right now. So tomorrow.
You're right about that. Yeah. I'll probably, shall I aim for tomorrow then?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's any actors that you've seen perform and you want to, offer it, all the writers have to do is go to the members section, click on somebody's name, and send a direct message to them asking them to be part of it.
Oh, how interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay, lovely. Thank you. That's helpful.
Sure.
I will now, on that note, head off. Thank you so much for a lovely evening, everyone. Take care. Stay
Thanks
safe.
for joining and for
see you
stepping
next
in
time.
as the narrator. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how about you, Carol?
I'll join as an actor or as an audience member, and I'd like to thank you for letting me read today.
Sure, thank you. Thank you for doing that. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we tried not to let anybody just kind of slack off there. We put them to work.
Always available.
I'm gonna head out. My eyes are burning.
Okay.
Thanks so
It
much.
was so fun. Thank you. And I was very entertained. Loved it all. Have a good weekend. What's left of it.
Yeah, so we'll see you again in February.
See you then. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Yeah. You too.
Bye.
We got in
Bye.
early.
I'll sign off as well. And again, thanks very much. It was a fun day. I appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you.
I wanted to say something.
Okay.
I don't know if Reddy has the same sensation or not, but when I'm reading one of Rex's plays, I feel I'm getting on this train, and it just starts, and I'm riding it. I don't know if you've ever heard anybody make a comment like that about your work, Rex, but that's how I feel. It sort of goes on its own. It has a forward motion, and you just kind of sit back and enjoy the ride a little bit.
Yeah,
Thanks for
absolutely.
that, Paul. Yeah, that's one of the things I do aim for, is to constantly have not physical movement, but dramatic movement, so that, often I like to think, whenever you reach the top of a page, things should have changed from the top of the previous page. There's always constant little twists, and I like things to have ups and downs and highs and lows. And yeah, that's what I aim for, to have constant movement.
And when you're doing short form, it's sort of like, it's got to do it kind of quickly.
Yeah.
You don't have 80 pages to develop that. It's got to kind of happen right away.
So, Stephen,
I've read for
do you
two
do
of Rex's plays. One I got to rehearse, sort of, and the other I didn't. I jumped in to read stage directions for a horror piece at the last minute, and they were like, "Do you have triggers around cannibalism?" And I was like, "Nope." And I was like, "Gross." Like, nothing bad happened. But I'm still like, I can't show that this is actually, like, it was funny and gross, but mostly funny. I was fine. I just felt weird, but it's a Rex McGregor play. That's what you're going to get around Halloween. However, like, I've seen you act in other plays, and you've made me laugh. And then I read for I Love an Earthling, and, like, that was funny and sweet, and I liked that one. So you've got a broad range. You can be funny and disgusting, or funny and sweet. And I've seen you, I think, do a drama one.
I don't think I've seen Rex do any acting.
Oh, I've
You
only
did it
really.
with, can I tell them about it?
Which group was it?
I have.
Actor
I've seen
Page.
Rex.
You
I usually
read
only
for,
do it for
the British
Jeff's
guy
group.
who was an asshole.
Jeff Dunn.
You read for a professor who was a real jerk.
You mean Jeff Dunn?
It was Jeff
Parker
Dunn's
Sterling.
script. It was Jeff Dunn's script.
I do sometimes do some reading for a group that Jeff Dunn runs.
Oh,
I
okay.
should clarify then.
The bid
I'm
time
referring to
plays?
something that happened 3 years ago. That's
Oh.
not really fair. It had a big impact on me, but I'm starting to realize.
And Rex
You
is
do so
everywhere.
much
So
work
it
that-
could have been the Florida group or the Philadelphia group. So yeah.
No, this was a group out of Wisconsin/Chicago. Rex stopped in for, I think, 2 rehearsals, and then your plays got picked up by other companies, so you moved out. But that is where we met. I remember, because Laura Rovey was my mom, and then she was my wife for the next 5 plays. It made me laugh.
Rex has been
Rex
doing
played
so
a
much.
British
He
guy.
has
Yeah,
no
there have
record.
been so much. I don't remember which one you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we remember very different things, but I
You've
got
also
invited to
played.
Jeff's group and then had to repeatedly tell him that I couldn't go for, like, something always came up, and he's like, "I don't care." And the one time I went, I did not think I looked presentable, and I made a comment about it before I went off camera and looked a lot better. And then Jeff made a comment, and I took it kind of personally. I didn't realize he thought he was joking. I thought he was serious. So there was a little bit of tension there. And then he's like, "If you're offended, I'm sorry." And it's like, so that's how I come off.
Yeah, you've
So
been
that's
in a few others of mine, Zev. You played Leafy. You've
Yes,
been Phony on a
I
Twig.
forgot about
And
that until you mentioned it.
the secretary who helped the murderess and played
Yes, and
for a
Rex,
sec.
remember how I carried on about not getting a green shirt? The next day it came in. I have a green shirt, and it's loose, and I can totally put a broomstick on my back. However, I saw it performed with another group, and it was a person who had a green scarf around their mouth and was doing their
Oh,
lines
yeah,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
marvelous, and then they took off the scarf. I thought that was great. And I'm sitting there going, my shirt didn't fit. Like, I will see your plays read and I will compare it to whoever does it better. And oftentimes, I don't know, I like seeing different plays repeatedly performed. Yeah.
Yeah, different interpretations can bring out so much that you didn't
Sure.
realize was there.
Yeah.
I was an understudy recently for something that Anyway, I was an understudy, and I did get to perform a scene because the actor had some health issues, and we had radically different interpretations, and I felt like I should have apologized because it was a culture I'm not a part of, and I was like, okay, this is how, it was an evangelist Christians. I don't know anything about them, and I just went off of what I thought the play was giving me, and I was a condescending asshole, and I apologized to every Christian there in the audience. They couldn't stop laughing because they got what I was going for. But the real actor, the one who was in the role, he was a lot more approachable, and you got it, whereas I was just a dick.
Well, what
Anyway,
did
so yeah, different interpretations matter.
What did the director want? Did the director give you any kind of feedback?
Oh, let me tell you. I love directors. I also love getting things wrong and being corrected. That helps me so much as an actor. The director knew, she was able to explain some things about evangelical Christianity to me, and then my scene partner, I just wrung as much information out of the poor guy as I could. I made it all about me because I couldn't research anything in time. Like, the depth of research I would have had to do, they told me everything I needed to know, and the director never said, she didn't tell me to stop doing what I was doing, but she wrote completely different notes for me. Like, she was like, she saw what I was going for, and she's like, I like it that you did that, and also there's this vulnerability to it, and I'm like, yeah, when my wife leaves me, otherwise I'm just overly confident. But that's what she was going for, so there's just different ways to go about it. Mine was very much, okay, just briefly a story about it. There was a line in the play, I feel this urge to, I feel a desire to communicate with you, but the distance between us is insurmountable. Was my performance. I'm talking to my wife. That's the performance I gave the entire time. What do you mean you're, and then it was a drop of, what do you mean you're moving out? The actor who was the overstudy, as it were, I feel a desire to talk to you, but the distance is insurmountable. Which pastor do you want to sit down and talk to about your problems in life? The one who's a lot calmer, who won't be condescending to everyone, So, and I was also raised as a child performer to not only watch your overstudy to make sure you weren't imitating their performance, but, like, the rules they gave me as a kid suited me to this day. If you've ever seen an acting choice I've made that you liked, credit does go to the directors who trained me as a child, and the directors I've worked with in modern day who are directing the festival. And if you've ever seen one that you don't like, the error is mine and mine alone. However, if you've ever seen me in a Fatal Attraction story when I'm playing the villain, that is all me, and apparently I'm terrifying. Apparently I've really frightened some people. I love it. It's not the way I live my life, but practically every Fatal Attraction story or movie that exists I've seen, and I can talk to you about it. So that one is all me. The rest is like, if it's good, it's somebody else.
Okay. All right.
And that's my whole elevator pitch.
Good
I
to
can
know.
be terrifying if you want.
But Zev, are you ever going to do any writing for this group?
I'm
Zev
too
does
scared.
do writing. You've done writing for the Florida group, Zev.
Right.
Quite a bit, actually. And I've done writing for a group in England, but the way the director put it was, we need more writers, and I was like, okay, if you really want me to. And then it's like, the plays I write resonate with a lot of different people, and I was shocked. I wrote a play once, just, I don't want to submit it here because because I'm too scared. But I did submit a play that was very personal to me about a ballet dancer. I'm not a ballet dancer. The people who read for it thought it was great, asked if I was a professional, and I got so flustered and overwhelmed and embarrassed that I had to go off camera, and later I said, no, And when it was read for the group in England, over half of that audience had all quit ballet when they were teenagers. Every single one of them was able to relate and gave really great feedback. So that was wonderful. And then another play I turned in, Rex, I don't think you've ever seen it. It was about, wow, I sure am taking up a lot of time talking about me and saying that I'm scared to turn in the play. But anyway, I might turn this one in because I was so freaking proud of it. Someone said you should write a play about the first time you fell in love. It was at an acting camp, and so I did. Wrote about it, and it's middle-aged actors, because I think it's interesting, with the mentality of teenagers. If you've ever heard me say I'm sticking you in a time machine, you're going back to when you're 14, this is what I'm talking about. And like, they thought it was very novel, and then afterward they're all talking about the play, and they were like, you were under an immense amount of pressure. And I'm like, God damn it. I'm working on another one, and one of the actors who read it, it's not ready yet, but one of the actors who read it just blurted out, is there anything positive about child performers who grow up? And I got real quiet at that, because like, people think that we're either you peak when you're a teenager, like, I don't know. I'm exploring my next feelings in a short story I'm writing. Anyway, that's a very long answer to, I don't know, I'm too scared, but I wrote some things.
Well,
I don't know. I'm
keep
too
coming
scared.
back.
I wrote some things.
Keep coming back when you feel like submitting something. Just do it.
Here's another question of mine. I've already considered them premiered, and what I will do, I'm pretty open about this. Anytime I get any play of mine read, I will actually email the actors and ask if I can put their name on as them being originating cast members. And I will turn those into other festivals. They don't get picked, but they've already premiered, so it's just going to be me talking about how great the actors are and very little of what inspired me to write the thing. Like, seriously, the thing about ballet dancers, I wrote it because I was in a bad mood. The love story, I wrote it because somebody told me to. The one I'm working on right now, anyway, it's not therapy. I was just in a shitty mood and thought I was a bad playwright, so I'm starting something new.
Okay.
I mean, if you guys really want to see it, if you want, like,
it's entirely
I'm not
up
trying
to you. Like I was talking to Mark, it's a good place to test out material for a writer.
Okay, I say hesitantly.
Okay.
I suck at talkbacks. That's another huge fear of mine.
But you have
I
no
am
problems
awful
with
at
talking.
them.
Well, is that it? Anybody else got anything they'd like to add or suggest?
Thank you for having me.
One thing, Stephen, it's never quite clear when we submit whether we've got a slot or not. Maybe we should have a booking system where so that people know if they've got a spot before they start asking actors. A lot of groups have a system where
you have a spot as soon as you submit a script.
Oh, okay.
Until we have five. Five is usually the cutoff.
That's pretty clear then. Yep, I just wasn't sure about that.
Yep. There's no.
I'll just submit early then.
There's no reviewing. There's nothing like that.
Right.
And like I said, if there's an actor that you want on the piece, reach out to them. Let them know. It just seems like some of the writers they submit, but I don't see them interacting with anyone else on the page saying, sometimes I have to suggest them to the writer. But yeah, if there's someone that you want on the piece, just direct message them and ask them. Yeah, we don't have too many rules.
No, that's really clear now. Thanks. So I've wondered too, for your plays, a lot of them as a result of prompts, or are they a result of what you wanted to write yourself? Like this Christmas one.
This Christmas one, I'm not sure if they're still going on. I was a writer in residence at the Actors Workout Studio in North Hollywood. And every couple of months, they would send the writer the names of 2 actors from their studio for us to write a script for. And this particular time, the actress that they sent me was a very small female, and she was in another play. I think she played Puck. And it was just like, when I saw that image of her, I thought Elf, and thought about doing, her coming up to remind somebody what the spirit of Christmas was about. So that's kind of
good. I'm 5 feet tall. You can't tell because I'm lying down, but I am 5 feet tall. I do well in anxious and neurotic roles, but this time I got to bounce around.
Good.
I shouldn't say I do well in neurotic.
And
I connect to anxious roles.
Rex, does most of your writing come from the prompts of other groups, or are you thinking about what you want to write without?
Early on, well, I've really only started writing to prompts since COVID and the Zoom thing. Before then, it was all from myself. But I would say over the last couple of years, probably about 3/4 of the writing I've done has been a result of prompts in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just what I keep telling people when I'm interacting with them on social media, is that, we talk about COVID, but for me, it opened up all kinds of opportunities. So there's been some positive things because of it.
Yeah, I mean, this whole Zoom thing has just been wonderful for me. I mean, I belong to at least 6 regular groups like this, and several other occasional groups. So it just means that every week I've got some opportunity to listen to my work read, and it's just a joy as a writer. Because pre-COVID, I would never have this frequency of hearing my words heard. So it's been a real joy for me.
Which brings me to the Florida group. I was a little disappointed that I didn't get a script picked for their festival, but that's the way it goes, I guess. But
same here. I'm in the same boat, Stephen. But
relieved about me, not you guys.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there are so many groups and so many writers that nobody can get everything. So
sure, yeah.
I'm just grateful for whatever does come my way. So I mean, I'm a mad submitter. I don't know about you, Stephen, but I submit to just about everything. Every opportunity to do, I've got something.
Yep.
I
the opportunity I see, even if I don't see an opportunity, like a lot of times in Facebook, someone will post something about a play that's being put on by some group. I'll go in and look for that group and see if they're accepting anything. So yeah, I'll go searching for opportunities sometimes.
Yeah. And the other thing I do is submit and forget. So once you've submitted something, forget about it. They'll take it or they won't. Sometimes, like there's one group called Mad Lab where they reckon they had over 1,000 entrants and only could accept 10. So your chances of getting there are very, very slim.
It's also
like winning lotto.
It's also funny. A couple of times I've been emailed about a group saying, "Oh, we've accepted your play, and we're going to start putting," and I have to email them back and say, "Could you tell me which play?" Because I completely forgot about it.
Yeah, it's quite pleasant, isn't it?
Well, Paul, how's your moving plans? Are they completely?
Well, there's been a new development that it doesn't look like we're going anytime soon.
Okay.
And
it's not the development in the Ukraine, is it?
Huh?
It's not the.
Well, that is a concern because it's quite close. They have a border. Right. They have a border with Ukraine.
Yeah.
So, that is, it's interesting. Hungary kind of has a history of, well, as their foreign minister always says, he has a little thing he always says, and every time the East and the West get in a conflict, they get the brunt of it. So they're kind of powerless when the East and the West are at each other. So they're hoping that will all get resolved, because they just have a long, long history of being in the middle.
My thought is that the Ukraine citizenship should put on a camping weekend on their border. Just put up tents and have games and party and have families there with absolutely no weapons. I don't think Putin would even try to cross the border if that was there.
Well, the thing is, I'm not even qualified to talk about it, because I don't even know, you don't even really know what's going on.
That's right.
You don't know who is causing what and what the real story is. I mean, don't you agree? You really don't know. All you know is what the news kind of wants to hand you, and it may be half true, or it may not be true at all.
But you don't have the Ukraine going out to the Russian border. You've got the Russians coming into the Ukraine border.
Yeah.
For some reason they don't want the Ukraine to join.
Well, you also have other countries funding things within that country.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I do need to leave. Thank you for having me. Thank you
Exactly.
for being so patient with me with the sudden elevator pitch. Good luck with your international move. I heard through the grapevine that you were just moving to another state.
No, we had planned on moving to Budapest.
Oh.
And
wow.
Yeah. It's considered by some to be the Hollywood of Europe.
Oh.
There's enormous amounts of films being made there.
I know about that. It's a
and
big
they're
thing,
making
really
and they're
talented
selling most of it content for Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime, and that's where, because they can get it made there much cheaper, and English speaking actors are in demand there.
Wow.
So if you're a native English speaking actor and you live there, the chances of you getting cast in something are very great. So that was kind of the method in my madness.
Well, maybe you can do some composing there too.
Yeah, I've composed a lot of things lately. I'm in a production of Medea right now, and I've done some incidental music for it. And it's interesting. Gosh, it's just sort of coming to me, the music, and it usually is not that way. I usually have to struggle with it to come, and it seems to be, I don't know why.
It's just the time.
Yeah. And I have it on, it's on my SoundCloud.
Okay. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
Right.
Like something if you hear something you like,
Sure.
like it.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Well, I enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rex.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Stephen, for keeping this ball up in the air.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it as long as there's actors and writers who still want to participate, then we'll keep it going.
See you next month.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.